Welcome to episode 464 of the AM/PM podcast. This week, we're talking more TikTok shop and social commerce because that's where you need to be paying attention to right now. We've got Stephanie Tramicheck on the show today. She's been around for a while, started 3 different companies. She's helped Etsy and Pinterest launch in Europe. Now she's big into the TikTok world, got her own newsletter and got an agency, and very well connected in that world. So I think you're going to really enjoy this episode. There's some actionable, tactical stuff that you can do. So enjoy this episode with Stephanie.
Welcome to the AM/PM podcast. Welcome to the AM/PM podcast, where we explore opportunities in e-commerce.
We dream big and we discover what's working right now.
Plus, this is the podcast where money never sleeps, working around the clock in the AM and the PM.
Are you ready for today's episode?
I said, are you ready? Let's do this. Here's your host, Kevin King. Kevin King.
Miss Stephanie Tramicheck, how are you doing? It's so nice to have you here on the podcast. You don't know this, but I've been reading some of your stuff online and following you for a little while. So it's a pleasure to actually have you here.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm more excited than you. I've been following you. You're a kind of mentor in my head. I love what you do with your newsletter. I know what you've done in the past. I love everything you do. You're an inspiration. So I'm very excited to be here and have this discussion.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. So a lot of people, there's certain people in this industry, in the e-commerce industry, that everybody knows their name because they're at every conference, they're at everything, they do little sessions, they're speaking. But a lot of people are probably who the heck is this Stephanie? And they have no idea. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and how you got into this.
So as you may notice, I'm not a 20 years old, so my story is maybe a little longer. But in a nutshell, yes. So in a nutshell, I'm a 3-time founder, mostly in tech. I'm right now the editor-in-chief, what I say, chief talk officer of The Talk, TOK newsletter. That is everything about TikTok Shop for sellers that wants to move into TikTok Shop and live shopping. But my background, I'm an engineer from training. I worked for 7 years in telecommunication when the glass ceiling just was too heavy on my head, and I decided to create on the side a blog, and it was in 2004. It was the first blog in fashion and craft in France. I was in France, as you can tell from my accent back then. And it's most likely the first, the worldwide #1 blog at that time for fashion and craft. So I've been around creating, I've seen the whole evolution of content creation, social media. Let's remember, it's 2007 that Facebook started. So I've seen all this evolution, and I was part also of this evolution. So my blog transformed into a business, a physical magazine, a paper magazine, an agency for retailers, and a copycat of Etsy that I launched in France. And that's how I got into working with Etsy and launched Etsy. So now very famous. At the time, no one knew it in Europe, and I launched it in Europe. I was the first international employee for Etsy, and first non-US employee for Etsy, and launched. And we grow it to 20 million in 3 years in France. And it's not, I'm not done there, because I repeated my first time non-US employee with Pinterest, and I launched Pinterest in France, and we grew it in 2 years and a half into 1 million of audience in France alone. And then in 2016, I moved to the US, so I'm in San Francisco. You don't see it, but it's I'm in a Victorian house in San Francisco. I love San Francisco. San Francisco is back. I love to be an American now. It's been, I went through the green card and all the process, but now I'm a proud American and citizen. I've been working a lot on tech. I'm like as I say, 3-time founder in tech. But now I love to be in the social commerce space. I'm always very curious. I started TikTok when it was Musically. So I think my first video was in 2016, and then I've been on and off TikTok because let's not hide ourselves. You can lose so much time and mental space being on TikTok. It's fun, but I'm very good at installing, disinstalling, installing, and last year, around May, June of 2024, I installed it back and I discovered TikTok Shop. I discovered how all those creators were like, you can make 10,000 a month. All those creators wanted to help and make money. And in this affiliate program that TikTok Shop was organizing, and I saw that like not so many sellers were selling at that time, but they were making a lot of money. So I decided there is something to be done, and I was looking for my next venture at that moment. So I decided, okay, let's go into TikTok Shop. And instead of like creating my own product or doing drop shipping, I actually had find an opportunity and had a contract with a big Korean conglomerate that wanted to launch on social commerce. And so we make a deal, and I started to help them selling on TikTok Shop. And so I've been learning everything TikTok Shop by doing, by asking myself all the question, doing, like I love to learn. So I've been going deep into learning. I'm very data driven. And so I look at like the data that you have, like all those analytics at Fastmost, Cado Data, you have access to a lot of information. And you can, looking at those data, you can inform a lot of strategy and learn from the best. And so I created Supercell.me, with a S, not like a C with the gaming company. And I decided to help brands to sell on TikTok Shop. And to nurture that business, I created a newsletter, which was just like for the business, to gain visibility and to make sure that once I connect with someone, they can follow me. And actually now, like my priority is to continue to learn with this Korean brand, but I'm focusing on the newsletter and really leaning into the education and helping brands to launch on TikTok Shop.
Yeah, TikTok Shop has become. I'm from the Amazon world. I've been doing the Amazon stuff for like 30 years, and so TikTok Shop. I remember when it was Musically, when Gary V. Actually back like 2015, 2016, he's like, yeah, everybody, you need to pay attention to this Musically. It's going to be the next big thing. I'm investing in it. And then it just went, I kind of checked it out and then I didn't hear anything else about it. And then I was at an event in like 2018, and I think it's at a golf, one of these golf places where you do like a Top Golf or something. And someone's like, have you seen this TikTok thing? I'm like, TikTok what? Yeah, no, I don't. There's a clock on the wall over there. And it's like, no, you got to pull it up on your phone. And so I looked at it and I was like, that's pretty cool, but I didn't really get into it. And then around the when the COVID hit is when I started actually paying more attention. And when TikTok Shop is when really a lot of people started paying attention. And just like you said, TikTok, that algorithm is ridiculously good. I've always told people, like, if you're going on a date with somebody, you don't need to do any research on them online or look at their Facebook. Just say, can I borrow your phone for a couple minutes, and just go to their TikTok scroll and see what comes up. You're going to know everything you need to know about that person, what they're into. But I use it, every night when I go to sleep. I need like an hour to wind down because I work late into the night. And so I need like an hour to wind down. Sometimes I'm watching, America's Got Talent on TV or something just mindless kind of entertainment. Other times I sit there for an hour and scroll TikTok until I get tired enough to fall asleep. And I end up buying some stuff from time to time because it's very well tuned in to what I want. And now, as I cover it, like, in my newsletter, and a lot of sellers, I hear mixed things where people go to it and they're like, "Oh man, I'm crushing it." I just, on another podcast I do called Marketing Misfits with Norm, we just had a girl doing 21 million a year, selling jeans on TikTok and zero presence on Amazon. And then I know someone here at Helium 10 that was doing like 6 million on TikTok, and it raised all of her Amazon sales. And then you hear other people like, no, I can't get anybody to promote anything for me. And
Oh.
this just doesn't work. And I think a lot of people don't understand what TikTok actually is, and they treat it like they would treat selling on Amazon or selling on Walmart or
Mm.
selling on Etsy or someone, and you
Yeah.
can't. In my opinion, there's three core things that every e-commerce seller should concentrate on, and that's AI. You need to be
Mhm.
up on
Mm.
AI as a tool, not as just to write your
Yep.
emails and analyze the keywords or something, but as a proper integrated tool. Social commerce and
Mm.
marketplaces. Those are the
Mm.
three big things that I think everybody should pay attention to. And why social commerce is because it's top of funnel right now, and the funnel is getting mixed. Where is it really top of funnel and you slide them down, or is it top of funnel and middle of funnel at the same time?
Mm.
And that's kind of what TikTok is, has in a way has become. Um, and it's a great discovery platform. And so, what do you see when you're talking to some people with your company or newsletter subscribers for your newsletter that when they're coming from say an Amazon or e-commerce world, what are some things that they just don't understand about how TikTok and TikTok Shop works? That they just you got to get through their thick skull, like, no, quit thinking that way. Think this way.
Yes. I think when you come from the world of Amazon, everything is PPC. Everything is search and PPC. When you come to the world of social commerce, everything is about the creators. And it's about volume of video and commerce video, which is a very specific format that we are talking about. And so it's about the number of affiliates and down the line, how many videos, commerce video that is talking about your product that you manage to produce. So it's not about controlling what you can, it's about influencing, and the tactics are very, very different.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people come and they just try to sell, sell, sell. And I find that some of the best, what for me personally, when I'm watching a TikTok, someone that just comes on and actually tries, there's a format with the hook and the whole
Mhm.
process,
Mhm.
and there's
Yeah.
a psychology to it, and that's where a lot of people that want to be creators, I don't think they understand the psychology of actually selling. And
Mm.
but I know that there's a TikTok example I like to give is there's a girl, Abby something, I forget her last name. She's in New York, and I think she's an influencer for a lot of like beauty brands and Korean brand. Um, and she just recently got a little dog, and she shows the whole story about her dog, but all her stuff is subtle. It's not like putting on some lipstick and like, oh, this is the greatest lipstick and it doesn't smear and I can kiss my husband and it still stays or whatever. It's not about that. It's like she will show playing with the dog and her story of the dog to capture you and bring you in, like, oh. And then she might be like, "Oh, I gotta go do my makeup. I gotta go do," and she's in there, and it's a quick 3 5 second thing, and like clip after clip after clip of her just putting her foundation on, putting on her blush, putting this, and then she's like, "Oh," and then the third one's like, "Oh, this is my favorite lipstick, such and such brand. It's my favorite," and that's it. But that's enough of a
Mm.
plug and product placement that then people like it feels authentic. It doesn't feel like they're selling her, but they're like, "Well, she
Yeah.
uses it and she looks good." So I think that. What do you think of people that are taking that approach versus the sell, sell, sell? Is that the better way in your experience to do it? Or
I think so. First, it depends of the category. It depends of the product and the category. And I will say there are you need to have a mix of type of creators. I think at the core, you still want to have commerce video. You want to have that call to action of the why to buy, and
Mhm.
it's really linked to the fact that you need to have to really make volume. You need to have niche relatability. I will relate less to a 20 years old explaining me why
Right.
the lipstick is better, but I will relate to I will not say my age person, lady
So
talking about
someone, yeah,
the lipstick. And maybe for you, you will relate because it will be Mother's Day or it will be
right.
another Saint Valentine, and there will be a video especially for you. And so there is a relatability, but at the same time selling. So at the act of conversion. But some creators also, and like there is a moment where we will be fed up of all those commerce video, and it needs to be about building a community for the brand and
Mm-hmm.
having a way to talk about the brand in itself. What are the values of the brand? Having influencers and UGC creators that are not affiliates. So there is maybe not the link on the video that is directly linking the video to the shop, but they are expressing what are the values of the brand, what is a community, what is the ideal user, consumer of that product. And what you describe about this, Abby, is like part of the narrative that the brand needs to build on an influence on TikTok. And it can be done by the brand, but most likely is done by also influencers, which are different from affiliates.
Well, so we'll talk about that. So like in the case of this Abby, where she puts the lipstick on, it's 3 or 5 seconds, she's not doing a call to action like, oh, you can get it on this shop or links below. She's just showing it, but that creates an awareness. And then maybe maybe she's part of a campaign that this Korean company is doing, then another creator comes on because you just watched that video for 4 minutes with her and her dog, and they know you like her, and you like, so then most likely at some point pretty soon after that, TikTok or maybe the next day, depends on, they're going to show you another video for that same product when this one's actually
Yeah.
selling. And then you're looking at it going, oh, wait a second, that's the one that Abby used. Oh, that's the one that Abby used. Holy cow, I
Mm.
need to get that. And I
Yes.
think a lot of people that are coming in from like the Amazon world don't think in that way. They think
Mm.
it's just the sell. Like what you said, you need a whole variety, like a portfolio of things, and it has to
Yeah.
be at that avatar. And I think that's a mindset shift for a lot of people that aren't experienced in advertising or psychology or whatever you want to call it, that they make massive mistakes.
Yeah, it's really more about the user and the consumer, how he will use the product, why he will choose this brand, more than the product in itself, somehow.
Hmm. It's
Uh,
the trust.
and
You trust that
so,
person.
yes, you trust that person. And in the case of Abby, and it was smart for the brand to work with her because you tap into her community. So, but it's like the playbook that you have kind of like in Instagram, working with influencers, tapping into their community, their own image, what they what their positioning and the message they have, how it is supporting your own brand. So it's kind of like they have a personal brand. All those creators, influencers have a personal brand, and you are associating your own brand to them and their community.
Thinking about selling on TikTok Shop? Or maybe you are already in it and you're ready to scale. Unlock all of Helium 10's brand new TikTok Shop tools with our Diamond Plan. Everything from bulk Amazon to TikTok listing conversions to instant Amazon MCF fulfillment. Best of all, you use the code TT10 to get 10% off Diamond for 6 months, even if you've used a coupon before. So go ahead and upgrade and let Helium 10 do all the heavy lifting for you so you can focus on what really matters. For more info on our new TikTok Shop offerings, visit h10.me/TikTok. I'll see you there.
What's the difference between an influencer, a creator, and an affiliate in the social commerce world?
I would say influencer, UGC creator, and an affiliate. So
Okay.
in the world of TikTok, which will be a different in the world of Instagram, in the world of TikTok and TikTok Shop, an influencer is someone that has some influence. It could be nano, micro, big influencer. You have different sizes of influencers, but they are tapping into their own community. They most likely have a personal brand, and you want your product and your brand to be associated with them. And it's more like really about branding that lead to sales. And then you complement that with ads. So as you say, you've seen the video, then the ad algorithm will promote the product to you. UGC creators is more, I pay you not to tap into your community. I mean, you do it also, it depends on the creator, but because you will do more a specific video, and I want you to really create that video for me, and I'm paying 200, 500, 5,000 for one video. That is more, we build that video somehow together. There is no affiliation link. It could be an affiliation coupon on Instagram, but on TikTok, usually there is no link to the product. And then there are the affiliates. TikTok, so we call them, they have two names. They have TikTok Shop creators, which is something very specific, or affiliates. And they are like a traditional, in a sense of traditional old school affiliates. They earn money, they earn a sales commission on every sale that they manage to create through their video. And the video that they do is a very specific video. It's called a shoppable video, a commerce video. And so it's this video where I say, hey, look, like this is perfect for Mother's Day. The packaging is like so nice. It's perfect. It's staying. It doesn't stay on my fingers, on my glasses and whatever. And then there is on the video, there is this link to the shop directly. So if as a consumer, I like what you say, I click and I arrive directly on TikTok Shop. The beauty is like what you were alluding to before is like you are in this mode of like relaxing, winding down after your day, and you are entertained, and then suddenly you see this nice video like this lipstick, and like you feel so relatable, you love the stories, this is really talking to you. You just click, in 7 seconds you check out, because TikTok already has your credit card, your address, and then you're back to entertaining. So it's impulse buying, like at its heart, and it's almost buying for fun. And so it works. Like the machine is like heavy. Like some people spend so much on TikTok Shop. And so they are affiliates. And every time, what I love with the beauty for sellers, the beauty of the model made by TikTok Shop, is that affiliates are really only making money if they sell. So they have this motivation to make it work. It's different from an influencer or UGC creator that, okay, the video doesn't work. I've done my video. I will not say they're all like this, but it happens. Right. And so everything is also on TikTok Shop trackable. As a brand, I know exactly which video, which creator is bringing me what GMV. You have the conversion rate, you know what the volume of video, like of views they will have. Everything is trackable. And so it gives you so much data about who is buying and why, that it helps you to create a very good feedback loop and a fast feedback loop with all your creators, with all your affiliates, that you can give them, oh, this creator has been so imaginative or creating something new. This is a new angle. This is a new hook we've identified. You can copy that and do your own thing around that, but that it will increase the conversion rate. And so the model of the affiliates on TikTok Shop is very like it's fun. It boosts discoverability. It boosts sales because of this 7-second loop of mixing commerce and entertainment. But for the brands, I can track everything and I can iterate very fast. That's also very new.
Yeah, there's a company called Pattern. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're in Salt Lake City. Yeah. They're $1.8 billion in sales. They're the largest seller on Amazon, and they're in like 65 marketplaces. I was just back in May. I was at their convention. Their CEO was up on stage showing what they do on TikTok, where exactly kind of what you're saying. They've written some custom software and some custom AIs that will go and look at competitive products or find every single influencer, analyze, pull out the hooks, pull out the links, pull out the angles, pull out all the positioning statements, throw that into this big AI and like figure out, okay, this is what we need to do. And then they go to, then they go and they get they have an army of affiliates, and they also will reach out to people, but they'll say, this is what we need to do. We need this type of hook, and they mirror or modify it slightly and basically do that. And they know that this is going to perform within this range of conversion if done properly. And they're crushing it on that because that data is there. So TikTok gives you a lot of this data, like the GMV and all that. But then there's tools. What do they layer on top? And I know Helium 10 has some tools now as well.
Mhm.
Is that just more of the outreach kind of thing, or is that also some additional data that TikTok is not voluntarily given that they're parsing? Or what kind of stuff do you get by layering on some of these outside tools versus just the TikTok creator center and the back end of TikTok for sellers?
That's a vast answer, vast
Okay.
question. I would say from the top down. Top down, you can see which categories are overcrowded, which one are working fast. You can see then on the
These are
category
with the
where or on the
outside
product.
tools.
Yes.
Like in your example, if it's overcrowded, like I know someone that looks for they's like, look, what are the keywords that or the subject matter? And they'll go and they'll say, oh, there's only 107 videos in the last month about this subject matter. But this other one that you're thinking about positioning as, there's 6,200 videos. That's a much harder to compete. So go after the one that's 107. Is that kind of what you mean by that?
Yes, and TikTok also, so TikTok Shop on the Seller Center has some like what they call product opportunities, where you can identify what people are searching in your product category or in new categories. So you can know exactly what, from the search perspective, what are they looking for into products. You can look at the shop level, and at the shop level, if you're interested in a competitor, you can really understand how many creators they are, like affiliates they are working with, how many videos they've made in the last like 3 weeks, months, what are the top one video, who is the top, who are the performer, who are all the affiliates they are working with, what are the top performing videos, and you can download the scripts of those videos. You can really inform down to the playbook of how to do it, what the competition is doing. And so it's for me, like when you want to start on TikTok Shop, start by having an account on an analytic platform and start to look at your competitors or product in your category, like what have they done? And you can change the dates and look back like, okay, now they have like a full catalog. But when they launch, most of the time they only had one product, and that's the best practice is only launch with one product. But how, like what affiliates, why, like how they evolve into the narrative, how the hooks have evolved, like what are the angles, as you were saying, what the patterns guy are doing. Like you can, like, I would say, learn so much, and then you start by copying. There is a caveat to that. It's look like super simple when we say that. The problem now, and it was not true maybe 6 months ago, is like now the affiliate program is the Hunger Game. It means it's super difficult when you are a brand starting on TikTok Shop to get and sign affiliates.
Yeah,
This
that cold start is really hard.
is very hard. And so that's why like I would say five, like out of 5 shops, maybe there is one that will make it. And very often it's because they believe it's like Amazon, they don't do the work of creating content by themselves, finding creators at the beginning, creating that visibility on the platform, and then finding those few creators you can manage to work with to create I would say a playbook for other affiliates. So you
Hmm.
have to show affiliates that with your product, they can make money. And only contacting them saying, hey, I have a sales commission of like, I bumped it to 30%, which, by the way, maybe you cannot do it as a brand. I bumped it to 30% is not enough. Like they have, like their inbox is full. Now, TikTok Shop made one mistake. They open up their API, and they have a store, an app store for the sellers, and they open up all their API to maybe too many tools that are AI affiliate platforms where you can send 5,000, 1,000 of personalized message with AI to affiliates every day. And so you have the response rate to those emails is 0.01%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you cannot contact. So now you have to start with UGC. You have to start with your own account, your own team, maybe that is creating the content. Do what you say, like having the story, the brand. But at the same time, you need to show to affiliate that they can make money. It needs to be visible on the platform because they will not listen to your own message. Inbound doesn't work. You want to be visible from them. And then you need to have that hook, that playbook of that creative, I would say, brief that you can share with other creators. And until you have found what are the hooks, what type of video works for me, what is the conversion rate, is difficult to scale. But the goal is to scale with affiliates.
But
That's the goal.
so I know affiliates look at your GMV as a brand, and the brands look at the GMV and the conversion rates, like you said, of the affiliates. And if I'm a brand new affiliate, that's zero. If I'm a brand new brand, that's zero. I know there's tools like Celico that will actually kind of like seed that, where they will get some people to go buy your product or get some affiliate, and it kind of like at least gets you going to make it look like you've made some sales, even though they're in the Amazon world, we called it search, find, buy. So you used to rank Amazon products where you would, if you wanted to rank a new supplement to the first page on Amazon, you would actually use a company, pay that company like $15 or $20 service fee per unit. Then they had an army of people that would go and buy the unit with their own credit card, have it shipped to their address, and then leave a review, or it would just show up as a sale. They would tell them which keyword to search under, so it would juice the algorithm, and then they would pay them back for the, if it's a $30 supplement, it was costing them $50 in cash out of pocket. They get some of that back in their Amazon profits, but it's expensive, and that's what kind of Celico, and there's a couple other tools that kind of do that until TikTok says no more of this. But that's makes it difficult. But like you said, though, maybe you just got to create some UGC, and the other affiliates will see it, and they're like, oh, that's a cool product. I would like to promote that one, or I would like to do that. That looks cool, and maybe that's the game that you got to play instead of messaging 1,000 people and maybe getting one of them to respond. That's not the one you want. Um, that's and then you do like Goalie did. They've done it twice now. They did it last fall and they did it again this last summer, where they do these huge contests and they get attention because they're giving away $1 million, and they're willing to give high commissions. Like you just said that, maybe the affiliates, they want to make the most they can. If you're offering them a 10% commission, then the good ones are probably going to, no, I can get 20 or 30% from somebody else. I'm not going to do that. Versus if you offer them, this 30% or 50% may be all of your profit. But if it depends on your goal, that may be okay because you're getting it going, and maybe you only do that for the first month, and then you dial it back after that, after it gets going, and then you get the halo effect on Amazon where you're getting another 50 to 70%, and that's where you're making your profit with zero advertising spend or something over there. And I think a lot of people just don't look at the big picture of it all, and they don't understand. They're trying to be profitable. It's just like if I want to go on the shelf and be on the end aisle with my cereal at the local grocery store, right on the end, I got to pay a premium for that. I'm paying slotting fees and I'm paying premium fees, and that's where a lot of people, I think, don't understand. It's a long play. It's not everybody just wants to go viral. Like, oh, they hear these stories about going viral, and everybody just wants to go viral. And
Would be
you got to
nice
make
if it
sure
was that
you got.
easy.
And on the GMV too, just speaking of that, you might be looking at a creator and you're like, oh wow, they've done in TikTok Shop, it shows they've done $72,000 in GMV. Well, you gotta go look at their listing, because what if that was just one video and all their other videos never done anything? They just had one happen to go viral. You gotta take those kinds of things into consideration too, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very different from Amazon in the sense that everything is at scale on TikTok Shop. You need to work with 1,000 or 10,000 of affiliates. You need to influence them at scale. You need to be able to look at the data and the performance of the video at scale, because it's like thousands, hundreds of thousands of video that you need to look at. Hopefully now we have AI and then we have more tools, but everything is not yet in place. And most importantly, you need to learn, and everything is evolving so fast. So It's you need to find your playbook. You need to understand what is your roadmap in your own with your own strengths. Because, for example, if you're a creator founder, it's much easier for you if you're willing to be on camera. Because if creator, like I've noticed, like all the brands that are creator led, I call them, have like go like this, like cold start is faster, quicker, is shorter, because they are willing to put themselves and tell the story of the brand, show the behind the scenes, build in public. Like they are the best advocate for their product. Usually there is a value behind, and so they engage with the community. They get visibility much faster than any brand. And if they go live, like Canvas Beauty did or other brands, live was for a long time the trick, because going live, TikTok Shop wants to promote so much live shopping and wanted to make it work, that you have so much eyeballs. They are helping you also. They give you like a time in their studio. They teach you how to do it. But they give you the eyeballs also. For how long it will be that way, we don't know. It starts to be more competitive. The market is not so great for them right now, with everything. But it's live is also the trick, because there is less, but it's also more difficult. But there is less competition in live.
But the thing about live is it's huge in China. You go to Douyin in China, which is a TikTok in China, and over there, I think live is like massive. And a lot of people in China, they won't buy. They won't do like you just said in the US, where you just click the add to cart button and continue to scroll. They want to talk to somebody. They want to have an interaction, DM, or physically talk to them before they buy. Versus the US, we don't want to talk to somebody usually. We just want to like do it. And live just hasn't taken off. Amazon's tried to do it. I mean, they still have Amazon Live. It's not. It's a cultural thing. That's a huge difference. So, what makes a live work here in the U.S. on TikTok? What are some strategies that people that want to do that, or if the creator is willing, the owner, like you said, is willing to go on and do that? What makes it work?
I think for me, the most authentic and best way is to have the creator or a face of the company really talking to the audience, but a community, and not being hard selling. And and so this is one part of like what exists. The other part that you see is those like outlandish booth. Have you heard about that? Outlandish. So this agency working with affiliates and live, they have in Santa Monica, they have an old store warehouse where they have like, I don't know, 50 or 25 booths. They all are alike, but they are in the color of the brand. And you always have someone selling live, like 8 hours, 9 hours, I don't know, and so this is becoming a format, the American format of live on TikTok Shop, which I found, like, I don't like it personally, like as a someone that is very careful about the brand, the positioning, the message. I find it like really too commercial, and there will be a fatigue because they all look the same. They are branded, but they all look the same. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm in a market and I have someone, a seller that's coming to me aggressively, say like, do you want to buy this one? So it's kind of like closing the deal. But I think what's missing right now is we are in America. America is very good in producing blockbuster movies, telling stories, with like the hero journey. And I would like to see live shopping that tell a story. I would like to have more higher production type of live shopping that is more linked to interviews, like showing the brand, the behind the scene, and Zara, for example, has done some of it. I don't remember where they've done it, but they were doing like the preparation of their fashion show, and you could see like how they were thinking about preparing for the show. And this is, I think, live shopping should not be only about selling, but it should be tell the story also of the brand. That's why when it's creator led, it's better because it's not just like the selling. It's not just like buy this product. It has this feature. And it's like there is more meat to it. And I'd like to see like more brands doing that themselves, because then it's about a story about the brand in itself. It's very difficult to outsource. I would say you can work with an agency, but it has to be your own story. It has to be produced, I would say, but not like in an authentic way. The iPhone way or the relatable way. It doesn't have to be, when I say it has to be produced, it doesn't have to be also like in a studio. It could be in a store. You can imagine, for example, someone gave me that very good example. When you go to Sephora, you always have those ladies that are like explaining, do you need something? They show you the product. Actually, they are paid. Most of them
They get
are
a basket
paid.
for you when your
Yeah.
when your hands are
But
full.
most of them are paid by a brand. And so
Right.
there is always a moment in the discussion where they say, oh, we have also that type of product in this brand. Like maybe you like it, but they don't have the badge that they are like working for that brand. Imagine when it's downtown, like when downtime, they could take their phone, do a live and start to talk about their brand. Like they are good at talking. They are good at presenting the product. So imagine you can be in the store. You can have an army of like sellers that are already in all the Sephora, and that in their own way, with their own words, with their own age, with their own perspective, talk about your own product. You already pay them. And then they can make maybe more money because they have the sales commission on top of that. But the brand needs to innovate, give them maybe a specific phone or an access, train them somehow. So there is a lot of creativity that needs to happen in live shopping. And I think right now we try too much to duplicate what's happening in China. And I think we need to take ownership of like, we are different here. We have our environment of e-commerce is very different. And so let's use that environment, the retail networks. There is so many things that we can leverage to make live shopping work, but it's up to the brand to spend the time and find what's worked for them.
Yeah, like you said, the place that's in LA, that the building that has all these different booths, that's big in Indonesia too. They do some. I think that's maybe where they even got the idea. A lot of people don't realize TikTok. The U.S. is not TikTok's biggest market. It's China. It's called Douyin there. Then second is Indonesia. Indonesia is huge, and then the U.S. and then they're branching out into Europe right now. When it comes to the cost, I mean, when TikTok first started, they were subsidizing shipping. For the sellers, they were doing subsidizing some of the promos, and the percentages were super low just to get things going. And they got a lot of organic reach, but they're starting to move in that direction. They've announced this. They announced it like in the summer. They're starting to move in the direction like it's going to be more of a pay to play, and the organic is still there, but it's going to get cut and cut and cut. And now it's more about paying to play, finding these affiliate, letting them see that something works, and then putting ad money behind it to actually blow it up. And otherwise, they're not going to really extend it out. What are you seeing in that regards, and what are some strategies for that?
I think you still have organic in the sense of virality is not about like how many followers you have, but like the story and the angle and the creativity. So you need to have in place like this feedback loop we were talking about earlier. In that feedback loop, it's very important to have creativity and let creativity be your kind of like way of finding organic ways to still have like earned, I would say, instead of just having paid. But with everything, the evolution of like ads, especially on TikTok Shop with AI and GMV Vax, where this inevitable that you will have to more boost a video that works. But I think it's also smart for a brand when you have this feedback loop and you see that one creator is starting to blow up because you have to be very reactive and look really at the needle in the haystack, which video is like really now, like right now, blowing up. Then you just put more ads. And so it's not about like having an ad budget. It's about the reactivity and like reinforcing what works. And so it's again, you have to work at scale. You need to have a capacity to analyze fast and create feedback loop. And when you do those ads, like we call them Spark ads, you have a Spark code that the creator gives you. So you need to be, you can also negotiate that it's not the same sales commission. It's a little lower. So actually doing the ads might boost your margin at that moment. So it's all about the data, the reactivity and the feedback loop, and the capacity to engage with affiliates in volume, but also to influence them with that feedback loop very fast. It's not just a one-off with an affiliate. You want it to be regular, but you want to help them to do a better job at talking about your product.
So should sellers and brands be jumping on trends? Like back in the summer, I think back in late May, early June, there's a big trend on TikTok of people creating AI baby photos, baby things, where it's like take two people and you upload a picture to this AI tool and it would create these little take your head, like me and your heads, and then make us little babies sitting at a desk doing the podcast, and people were putting those out and putting and that became really hot, and then some brands started jumping onto that and like trying to do that to promote themselves. Is that wise to do that, or does it depend, or is that short-sighted?
No, I think it's like it's not short-sighted and it's not also critical to your strategy. I think when you have to create so many content over and over every week, every day as a brand, you need to post on your own account. You need to make sure that you have the story of your brand. It's good to use a trend for that. It gives you idea. It gives you more modernity, I will say, on the platform, relevancy. And maybe the algorithm is using the music and boost a little more your video, but also people like relate more if you are using the trend, because it's funny, we engage more. It feel like you are in this platform and you understand me as a person that loves TikTok. So it's good to do it, but it's like you need a system, and it's more difficult to do it with the affiliates. You do it more with influencers or your own account that you're managing. So it's there are different levels, I will say, where you can influence and do videos.
Now, with the success of TikTok, there's been a lot of other social media I guess not knockoffs, but similar platforms try to emerge that do what TikTok does. Amazon tried it with Aspire and it didn't work. They had to cancel it. There's all these other little ones that, oh, you you only get to request a product if you have left a review with the seller or you've sold something. Or they're trying to fix all these little gaps that people complain about on TikTok, but none of these have taken off really. And is TikTok just so entrenched and so much in the top of mind like Amazon is, right place, right time, and they just got such a lead? Or do you see that there's some other platform out there in social commerce that may be an up and comer that you're like, well, we need to watch this one and see what happens?
That's a very good question. It's true, when you are a TikTok user, you are like, the loyalty, the time you spend on the platform is crazy. Like the volume of time, like the sheer amount of time you spend daily is crazy compared to any other social media. That said, you have platform like What's Not in the live
Yeah,
shopping space
right.
that has an amazing growth. And right now, like, it's not really for all the brands. It's a lot of like more what I call live sellers. It's like Etsy at the beginning. It's like more small sellers, drop shippers, having their own stock of products. Usually you have the stock in the background and they show you the product. And so it's a very different nature. It's close also to what eBay is doing with live commerce. But their traction, their growth is like incredible. So I think this is coming on the space, and maybe they will add like the version of like the Amazon like or the marketplace in their platform, allowing bigger brands or more like a brands instead of like just live sellers selling on the platform. I think it will be a natural evolution. I'm not talking to them, so I don't know as my own hypothesis, but it will make sense. So that's they are contenders, and you can think also about Facebook and especially Meta and with Facebook Marketplace, or back in the days Instagram was trying and it's kind of like doing things in e-commerce, but they will change like everything. I think we have to look. I always talk about TikTok Shop and live shopping, but actually you have, because it is what's now. But you have to look at social commerce in its own beast and all, because everything is moving very fast. Every 3 months, the playbook has changed. You need to do things differently in some part of your playbook. And there will be more platform coming up.
QVC on the live shopping side now, they have 24/7 on TikTok.
Yeah.
With QVC, because they're like, hey, this TV stuff ain't doing what it used to do. We need to be where the eyes are, and now they're doing it on TikTok. So that's I don't know how that's doing for them. That's a relatively recent thing where they went 24/7, but I would imagine it's probably doing all right.
I think it's doing all right. I don't remember the numbers, but they are doing all good.
When you're seeing people come into this space, I saw some stat. There's like 1.5 million people trying to make a living as an influencer slash creator, on social media in the U.S. And most of them, I think the numbers are pretty dismal. Most of them aren't making any money. And like you said earlier, when a new shop comes up, 1 out of 5 might actually break through. What are some things that a seller listening to this, like, okay, I keep hearing about this TikTok thing. I need to get on this bandwagon. What are some mistakes a lot of them make, and what's something that maybe a couple of tips that they should do to actually have a chance at that cold start, or have a chance at actually doing it? We talked about a little bit, create the UGC, and we talked about, but let's like just give them like some bullet points or like a few things that they can do and they shouldn't do.
Yeah, I think the first thing they need to remember is like a successful brand will have roughly 80% of their revenue GMV made through affiliates. So that's the power of affiliates. So it means you need gradually move from I'm alone, I'm opening my shop, to I will have like hundreds of affiliates working with me. And so how you do that? First step is like you need to do your own content. You need to learn like what is the user that is buying my product? What is my consumer? Sometimes some shops don't even do that job. And so I'm finding like those people on the platform, follow them. So create an account. You have your shop account, but create like another account and start to follow people, your competitors, follow people that are buying the product of your competitors, but interact with those videos so that you have a feed that is completely the feed of your audience. And then you understand, TikTok will start to see, oh, you are that type of person. So they will show you like the video that you're supposed to like as the audience of your product, as the consumer of your product. So you can better understand and put yourself in the shoes of your consumer. And then you start to get ideas of like what type of video I should be doing, what type of influencers, what type of angle in stories. And I'm not even talking about the hooks yet, but like what is the story angle? Is it unboxing? It is day of the life of? Is it a testimonial into a dry shampoo or what it is? You learn about like be on the platform. I will say second tip is like go on analytics platform, look at who are your competitors, what has been working for them in the past, because what they are doing now might be different of like when they started. Now they have more budget. It's easy for them to get affiliates, but you still learn from their video, the angle, and then try to replicate. You learn by doing. either yourself. So if you are creator led, that's better. And in this case, I will say you need to be comfortable to be in front of the camera and speak in short form video, but also in live. And you should be spending some time in live every day. So that's another like learning curve for everyone, and things you need to do. And then after you understand better what type of affiliate, what type of creator I can work with, and though you start to cold outreach. Like you can use platforms, you can spend a lot of money working also with agencies, having a network of creators. So depending of like the scale of your company, if you're very small, cold outreach to a few of them, maybe take some people that are like good on Instagram and bring them to TikTok. People that are like working abroad, but you have your own account, and then have them talk on like with what you learn and show them what they should be doing, trying to find your own playbook of the video, the stories, the hooks that works. And once you have that, then you can scale. Then you can go and like buy the platform, go and work with a creator network. But until you have that brief, that creative brief, that's what will be working and converting, like you have to do like what is more manual. Like my son is at YC right now. He's 17. He's the youngest founder ever at YC.
Oh,
And
wow.
when you launch a company in 0 to 1, they always tell you, like, do things that don't scale. You think about like you need to learn, you need to try by doing, and it's not profitable, but that's okay because you learn and you need to learn fast. The fastest you learn, the fastest you will pivot, the fastest you will find what's work, and then you scale. TikTok is the same.
Yeah, interesting you say that on the feeds. I know someone has 5 phones, and each phone they keep for like different avatars, and they only scroll certain things on each one, so they can see what it shows them, and they don't confuse the algorithm with their own personal stuff or with something of another client. So and it's working very,
You
very,
can do it on
very
your
well.
own phone. You can switch easily from one account to another.
Yeah.
You can create like a ton of accounts, but it's very important to create your own feed for your own avatars, so you understand what they see, what are the trends, what is a video like what are 20 years old. Like TikTok knows like I'm not 20, and so it will not show me the same thing. And so I need to put myself in their shoes, because it's about, at the end, it's about the emotional connection, the relatability with the avatar. So you need to get that at that point, that's empathy with your consumer, your avatar. You need to get that.
Can you talk about the importance of hooks?
Uh, So when you look at the data, you see, and TikTok is very good at giving you that data of like within the first, you see that within the first 2 seconds, people are scrolling. So the hook is about 2 seconds to 6 seconds, but I would say more 2 seconds. And the drop of like the view is like crazy. Like you have the data, you can, it's funny to do a lot of experiments on that. A hook is like really, it has 3 components. The hook is like, the goal is to make sure that you stop scrolling, that there is something that make you watch the video, start to watch the video. Hopefully you stay for the whole video. And there are 3 components to the hook. It can be visual. So a very good thing is like people are moving and then they start to speak. The visual hook. It can be, I open a door, I move, I do something. It can be that you have like, those tiny hands. There was a moment where people had the tiny hand in their hand. That's a visual hook. There is a text hook. So you have like a sentence or a few words where it's like on ads on Meta. You want the people that should listen to you to identify themselves very quickly. So you say, for me, if I were doing for my newsletter a video on TikTok, I would say DTC brand, like, or something like this, or Amazon seller, and then what you say. And you don't start, oh, hello guys, like, no, that doesn't work. You go directly to the meat of the thing. of what you want to say, what you want to, the key, like something, it could be something, it doesn't have to be shocking. It just have to be very clear and directly to the point. And so it's a skill. You learn to do that. You learn by copying, by doing. There are always people finding new hooks. You have accounts on TikTok that are just talk about hooks, how to do them, what's working. So follow those accounts. Have like one account that is like learning about how to be a creator, so that you can guide also your own creator yourself. And it's evolving because it might change. It's changing also.
So what do you think is going to happen long term with TikTok? I mean, we're still going through some stuff right now, but the big issue, that the big knock is, this the Chinese. It's a privacy thing. They know everything about us, and they can influence our society by the way they screen things or the way the algorithm works. But that may or may not be true. But Facebook and Meta and Google, they all got actually more data on us. I guess they're based in the U.S., so there's some sort of we can actually regulate them differently or control them. But what do you think is going to happen here? I mean, it's such a big business, and it's a multi-billion-dollar industry on the creator influencer side. Is this going to get down the road? Do you think this is going to change hands? Or do you think it's going to be status quo and they'll work it out and it's just kind of go away and be like, oh yeah, remember that 1 year in 2024 and 2025 when they're talking about this? What do you think this is going?
I always like whenever there was like those discussion about the TikTok ban, I think it's like really clickbait for the news outlet, because when you are inside TikTok shop and you see like the impact that this platform has on every American, either by influencing, either because they make a living through affiliates and creator, or because of the brands making so much money. And it could be like a live seller, or it can be like a bigger brand. The economic impact of TikTok shop is real. And so the money that is there, like no one, like there are obviously people that wants to grab that money and that opportunity. Like I don't see a world, like a vision of our world in, like if we think about the Matrix, where TikTok shop is dead. And then obviously the money will go to a better like national interest, I would say, or national commercial interest. Does it depends how we see things? But definitely it will not, I don't see it stopping. The thing we can question is like, what's the form of it? Will it stay like TikTok shop, or something a little different? But that economic power that exists in social commerce is not going anywhere. Social commerce is here to stay, is here to become the number one way of selling. Is like, there is no way, it's inevitable that in the future you have social commerce in general making more money than traditional e-commerce, I would say.
Awesome. Well, Stephanie, I really appreciate you coming on today and sharing. This has been great. Some good stuff
It
on
was great.
TikTok. If people want to reach out to you, maybe get your newsletter or learn more about what you're doing, helping people out, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, so they can follow me on LinkedIn and reach out directly to me on LinkedIn. You will put my name, which is complex, I guess, in the notes. But also they can sign up to the newsletter at the Talk newsletter. So the THE Talk TOK newsletter.com, where they can sign up.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. Appreciate it. And good luck in the social media world, ever-changing social media world.
Ever changing.
Social media commerce is not going anywhere. It should be one of the major hubs and spokes in your system of selling e-commerce, not just Amazon Marketplace, but social media and AI those three should be a core. And then you can do other things off of that, your Shopify, your Walmarts, your other things, but that should be a core. Just as Stephanie said, it's not going anywhere. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and more powerful. We'll be back again next week with another awesome episode of the AM PM podcast. Be sure you subscribe to my newsletter, billiondollarsellers.com. And we'll see you again next Thursday.